Hello, bonjour, hola, guten tag, shalom, and welcome to YemmyCast, a video game podcast, a multi-platform podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. I am your host, YemmytheFerret, aka Yemmy, and in today's episode, we're not going to be talking about news, even though, yes, this is a news show. I'm going on vacation this weekend, so I'm not going to be doing like a up-to-date news article. I didn't want to release something that's old and broken and not really news anymore. But I do want to talk about a trilogy of games that I've been playing these past few weeks, months. Yeah, I would say months. I've been playing the past few months. And it, as you see in the title, it is the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Spyro 1 through 3 is inside this one disc, this one box. Let's talk about Spyro 1. Spyro 1 is an amazing game. There's not much bad that I can say about it. The remaster really makes it pop. And there's a lot of fun to be had in this game. Rescuing dragons, capturing eggs, getting gems, destroying giant rock spiders, killing bad guys. Well, not killing, flaming bad guys and running them over. And then finally, there's a big boss fight at the end. And even though the boss fights are pretty simple in this game, you know, one guy just kind of spins, one guy, he just runs around an arena and you chase him. You know, I think the hardest one was probably the robot dude. I forget what his name is, but that guy was pretty intense. But everyone else in this game wasn't really too difficult to beat, and that's fine because it is a kids game and it's meant for children. And this game just had a lot of heart in it. Each land was created very, very well. There was no underwater levels. There wasn't much to do with the gliding and mechanics and stuff like that, but there was a lot of cool stuff to find and figure out and do. And then we move into Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage. Spyro 2 did something weird with the series. Spyro 2 added in a lot more voice acting, characters you don't even know, and a villain that you never met. They just kind of plop them in there, and then Spyro gets in there too. Why they would choose to add in these new characters right away, you don't know them, who cares about them, but they elicit the help of Spyro because, oh, guess what? Ripto's in charge. Ripto is a dragon, but you've never seen him. And he takes over this kingdom. It's in a different dimension, apparently. But there's anthropomorphic animals all over the place. A bear with a money bag, a cheetah with a bow and arrow, a doe who is obviously sexualized, and an old professor who is a mole. And from the get-go, I thought this game was just... there wasn't much thought put into this game, I don't think. A lot of the levels are mundane. There's a good amount of learning how to do things, then going back. Lots of backtracking, which I don't like. I don't like backtracking in games. I like to keep going forward with the game. And if you don't unlock the entire moveset from the get-go like Spyro 3 or Spyro 1, what's the point? So in Spyro 2, you have to learn moves by either buying them from the bear or unlocking them by talking to characters. And most of the moves are very, very useful. Head slam is the last one you get, and there's things you need to go back to like World 1 to do. Climbing ladders, there's lots of things for that, but you don't learn that until like World 3. It's just a mangled mess, I would say. Each world did feel unique, but I felt like they were bland. Nothing really happened that was really exciting in these levels. A lot of the special things you had to do to get the egg or whatever you collected in that game, I've already the talismans. They were mundane tasks and they were boring. And really not until the end of this game did I start getting into it. I'll be honest with you. There's a few underwater levels that I really despised in this game. A lot of the characters in the game that you meet were just weird, I would say. There were a few levels where I really enjoyed the character designs. But there was one called, oh shit, what was that level called? Fracture Hills, that had some of the worst characters I had ever fucking seen. Like, they're Scotsmen or whatever, they're playing bagpipes, and you rescue them from being encased in stone, and every time you release one, they do the same song, and I got so annoyed the first time I heard that, and I had to play this level 3 times because there's a trophy I missed, and there's things you have to go back for, and to get some of those things you go back for, you have to save the stupid goats again. And it was just such an annoying level, and I hated the freaking song they play. And even in the end cutscene, when you're leaving a level, the song would play, and I was just so fucking annoyed with it. And that's another thing about the game that I just wasn't a fan of, was the cutscenes going into the level and the cutscenes leaving the level. Because not only did you already save the day in the level and do everything, but in the cutscenes, usually things are like, oh, all of a sudden there's like 15 enemies around this one dude, and oh, he saves himself. Wow, how amazing! Oh my gosh, please sign my child. I just didn't care about most of the characters in this game, and most of them don't even make a return into Spyro 3. The only character that makes a return is your good old pal, the cheetah. But let me talk about a conspiracy theory that I have for Spyro 2 and into Spyro 3, because this is something that's not really looked at a lot, and I believe that this cheetah is actually an enemy in this game. I mean, the bear is obvious. The bear is too obvious. He's taking gems from you, he's guarding enemies or friends of yours, and you have to pay him to open up ways, and at the end of the game, he kind of gets his just desserts, but not really. But the cheetah is like a secret boss in the game. He's like a secret enemy, because during most of the times when you use him, or not use him, but have him with you in like a boss fight or something like that, he's like, during like the last boss fight, he's dropping things. The last 2 boss fights, I will say, he's dropping things like literally on top of the boss. Like, he's giving the boss items. It was so weird to me. Like, you're going against Ripto, and instead of going towards you and dropping it, he dropped a freaking orb right on top of him, which caused him to get the special power, instead of dropping it away from him. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what are you, working for the enemy here? Am I Ripto? Am I actually Ripto? Do I look like Ripto? No, I'm purple. Ripto's orange. Who likes orange? Purple's the way to go, right? But no, he swoops past me and drops it next to him, especially as the fight goes on. He starts dropping them closer and closer to Ripto, and it's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? It was just one of those things that I noticed that I was like, not a lot of people kind of see this happen. You know, they just figure, oh, it's just the game design. But I think that the cheetah in this game was intended to be like a secret enemy in the game, to be honest with you. Not only that, but he has a bunch of orbs on his person that he just doesn't give up until you do something special for him. He's like, oh yeah, I have this orb. It's like, how do you miss that? Like, the mold guy, I understand. He's only in the game for 1 or 2 levels where you have to do something for him and he gives you the orb. And it's like, that's fine. Like, he had 1 or 2. But the cheetah dude has like 15 of them in his pockets. It's like, why don't you just give these to me at the beginning of the game, right? Oh, that's not good game design, Yemmy. Well, no, that's not good game design. But still, it's like, it's kind of like head scratching that this dude won't give you the orbs, you know, that he has right away. You have to do something special for him each time for him. Even the doe or whatever, the deer girl, she never gives you. I think she gives you like your first one and that's it. There's one that's out of reach that she can't climb to. Oh well. But for the most part, she's just waiting there for you at the door and going, you don't have enough talismans, you better go back. Oh, you don't have enough orbs, fuck you. And so, you know, in Ripto's Rage, obviously the bear is kind of an enemy here as well. I mean, it wouldn't have been jaw-dropping to find out that him and Ripto are working together at the end. Like, I feel like they really should have just done that, because he really is a villain in this game, stealing your gems or taking your gems, outrageous prices just to open up a door or show you how to climb a ladder. It's like, it's just annoying. And once you get the Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, you really start to see him come back and with full force. And now he's in he's on the opposite side of the Earth now, where the Dragon Realm is, and he's doing the same shit. And now he's even working for the enemy. He's guarding your friends. He's guarding the bird. He's guarding the Yeti. He's guarding the kangaroo. And sure, yes, he gets his quote-unquote just desserts by getting slammed by each of these characters. But the real crime is doing it in the first place. This bear is so corrupt that he will have Spyro, a good-natured, kind-hearted dragon, spending absorbent amounts of gems just to help his friends. This bear is evil, more evil than the cheetah. In Spyro 3, the cheetah is you can understand now that, oh, I found this egg, oh, I did this. Maybe you don't believe him, but he's in the game less and giving out less items, less eggs, and so that makes me think, okay, now, you know, he's a better person now, right? He doesn't come into the boss fights and drop orbs directly on the stupid ass bosses. Instead, he's at the skate park, he's doing something stupid. And he's the only guy you know from the Dragon's Realm that came over with you when all the eggs were stolen. And he has a crush on the Sorceress's Apprentice. Is that a Harry Potter game? A movie? Book? It was a book first, Yemmy. Come on, Jesus Christ. But yeah, the bear. The bear is like the most evil dude in both of those games. Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, he's the most evil dude out there. He is the one who's taking your money just so you can open a door, just so you can, you know, get into a submarine and go past metal sharks. It's annoying as fuck. But Spyro 3 has actually been a decent game. I didn't like Spyro 2. Spyro 1, of course, is still my favorite out of all of them, but Spyro 3 still is a decent game. I think they had a lot more ideas with this one going into it. A lot of the areas and stuff like that have a lot of cool special features you can do. The one thing that I don't like about this game, and it's a huge thing, is these new characters. The kangaroo and the penguin are just ridiculous. They're ridiculously hard to control, ridiculously have annoying levels. At least the Yeti's kind of fun to use, but the other two, geez, I just cannot stand them. And there's still one character who I haven't gotten to yet. I never played Spyro 3. I played 1 and 2 when I was a kid, and Spyro 3 is the one that I never played. And it's definitely better than 2, but it's nowhere near as good as 1, just because you have to switch between characters every so often. And I've run into a few glitches in this one as well. In the first and second, I didn't run into any, but in this one, like, there's one level where I think it's like called like Tower Tops or something like that, one of those generic names, and you switch to the penguin and you're supposed to go around the level as the penguin. Well, when I walked out of his doorway and started to do something, the game would just turn into a pale blue screen and then nothing would happen, and the game would eventually crash. And I was like, wow, what the heck's going on? And after a reboot and a check for an update, it didn't come back. So I don't know what happened there, but that's like the first time I've actually had a glitch on a Spyro game here. So I'm going through Spyro 3 right now, Year of the Dragon, trying to get all the trophies once again. I'm not going through specifically for the trophies. I'm still playing the game as I would. I'm not really looking at the trophy list, because there are some that I've already missed. You know, there's also a whole level I missed somewhere called the Mushroom Speedway. I don't know. That must be in the first area. I just never went to it or never found it. But you know, there's a lot of levels that I just didn't, I didn't go to. I'm sorry, a lot of trophies. I'm not looking at the trophy list specifically to get the trophies. I'm not looking at, oh, what's the special thing I need to do in the Country Speedway? No, I'm just playing the game as I would, and that's how I like to get my trophies. Is I like to be playing the game, not really know what to expect. That's how I'm playing Metro. That's how I played Far Cry 5. That's how I played Assassin's Creed Origins. That's how I played Resident Evil 2. That's how I'm playing Apex and Detroit Become Human. That's how I played Marvel Spider-Man and God of War and Mutant Year Zero, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But I will spare you the list. I will spare you the list. When I was trophy hunting for games and going for trophies specifically, I was ruining the game for myself. I will be quite honest with you guys. Trophy hunting was kind of ruined for me because I was specifically going for trophies in games and I wasn't enjoying the story to the fullest. I was following a guide, so I already knew what was going to happen in the game, or stuff like that. Things that really detract from the a game experience. And that's why 2017, when I was heavily trophy hunting, a lot of those bigger games that came out, I just didn't like because there was too much to do for the trophies, or the trophy guide was too long, or stuff like that. But now I'm just playing through games. I'm just playing games. I'm done with specifically trophy hunting. There's games that I will go for the trophies on. Like I really want to get done with Spyro 3 and Far Cry 5 and Metro Exodus. And I've kind of been going for Resident Evil 2. I beat the game 1.5 times now. I'm halfway through the Claire story. And I want to get the trophies for that one because it is a great and excellent game. But there's things that I'm not willing to do, like Detroit Become Human, go through the game like 5 million times. God of War, find all those ravens. I don't, and fight all the harpies. I ain't gonna do that shit. Snake Pass, am I gonna really get superior rating on every single level? Hell no. Hell no. I'm just enjoying the games for fun, and that's what I've been trying to do with Spyro. Of course, this has kind of been more of like a joke, I guess, of an episode because, obviously the bear isn't really a villain in the game. Obviously the cheetah wasn't really a villain. It was just game design that they put into the game. I understand that, okay? I'm not crazy. I understand that completely. I'm just saying when I'm playing the game, these are the things that are running through my head. As an adult person playing this game, I'm going, that bear is slimy as hell. But hey, you made it through another episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to me ramble about something really ridiculously dumb. But I really wanted to get something out kind of special because I'm on vacation this weekend. I'm not really going to be around. And of course, I'm not going to be around for news, so there's going to be no news stories that I can cover this weekend. But obviously I wanted to do something because weekend episodes, sure, they don't get as much traction as my regular episodes do, but I think people still appreciate the effort I put into it, right? But anyways, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for stopping by, no matter what platform you're on. Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, all that stuff. YemmyCast, the video game podcast, does premiere Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, so you can stop by, chat with me about what the things I'm talking about in the chat itself for the premiere. And then also it's available on Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud the same day. And then weekend episodes are not premiered, but they are released Saturdays at 10 a.m. and released the same day at the same time, usually on all the other platforms as well. So I appreciate everyone for stopping by and listening, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Ciao, baby!